Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we are going to be talking about somebody who has made a pretty insane mistake with their life, right? Now, this is another one of these people who, above all else, prioritized YouTube clout and attention, the views, you know what I mean? This is unfortunately a somewhat common occurrence, right? Where people, they see virality on the internet, they see people get millions of views, they see people making money with content, things like that, right? And they don't really know how to act. They don't know how to behave when they see that, right? And so what they do, for whatever reason, is they decide to just take it to the furthest extreme possible, because, you know, that's how everybody gets views, right? All of your favorite YouTubers, all of your favorite content creators, they don't just, grind content and make videos and just upload. They go do things like, well, in this instance, derail trains in order to get viral YouTube content. So, like I said, we've taken a look at some pretty severe cases, right? Where people, they do really anything to get viral, to get famous online. But to go this far is one of probably the most insane things that we've ever covered in this regard, right? Like, most people, when they're trying to go viral, they do like what the kick streamers and the prank YouTubers and whatnot do, right? They go and they film themselves harassing people in public, or fake feeding homeless people, or, being racist on the train in Japan, like the fucking one kick streamer, right? We've seen it all. At least that's what I thought. So let's go ahead and jump into this story. A 17-year-old Nebraska boy is facing felony charges after he was accused of derailing a train and posting the subsequent crash on YouTube. The Bennett, Nebraska boy was charged in Lancaster County Juvenile Court last week, though prosecutors have filed to get the case moved over to adult court, according to documents obtained by multiple local outlets. The teen is accused of tampering with the components of a railway on April 21st, causing a BNSF railway train loaded with coal to derail. Investigators said the resulting damage to 2 locomotives and 5 cars totaled around $350,000, according to KLKN-TV and WVIT-TV. So this is a pretty serious situation, right? I mean, I get it, right? I know what is automatically going to happen. There's going to be people who they see the first couple words of this article say, oh, it was a 17-year-old boy. And they're going to jump out of their fucking shoes to make excuses. Oh, he's just a kid. He doesn't know what he's doing yet. Obviously, that's not true, and the article is going to prove that as we continue to read it, but even if he, quote-unquote, didn't know what he was doing, I mean, this is a pretty fucking huge mess up, right? Like, this is a potential disaster, quite literally. I mean, railways, these are already areas that are very highly protected by the government and whatnot, right? Because, obviously, trains and rail carry tons of cargo and whatnot across the U.S. Fucking with the railways and stuff like that, that's a pretty big no-no. That's a really good way to get yourself in trouble. And then to cause hundreds of thousands of dollars in financial damage to this train, which, by the way, had a person on it, at least one, because the train obviously had to have an engineer or a conductor or whatever to, like, run the whole thing. And, I mean, it just was so blatantly reckless. And it wasn't like this was an accident where, some fucking little kid or something was playing on the train tracks and he left something there and then a train accidentally got derailed. It would even be serious then, but this is a 17-year-old teenage boy who his only reasoning, his only rationale for derailing this train and causing hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage and putting people's lives, including his own, at risk for this YouTube content was literally so he could just go viral on the internet. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he had some sort of real plan or reason or rationale to pull this off. He just literally was doing it so he could get views on the internet. And obviously, I don't think that's really how that worked, because just a couple days later, the kid was in jail. So it says that they're trying to get the whole thing moved over into adult court. Obviously, in the US, if you're under the age of 18, you're usually charged as a juvenile, as a child, and you get like a less restricted punishment, right? Being an adult and committing a felony is usually quite different than being a kid and, having a felony. But, I mean, in this case, he's close enough to 18 that they can make a legitimate reasoning that, yeah, this kid knew what he was doing. He should be charged as an adult. This isn't like some 11-year-old did this. After the accident, the teen, who was described as a train enthusiast, reportedly notified authorities of the derailment. When they arrived and told the 17-year-old they didn't yet know the cause of the crash, he replied, "Obviously a switch was flipped the wrong way," according to local reports. Alright, so I don't mean to sit here and like shit on the kid too much, because I guess he is a kid or whatever, and I should probably, hold myself to a higher standard, but I just want to say, how fucking stupid can you be? You know what I mean? How dumb can you be? I mean, first, you already think that it's like an okay thing, I guess, to do, to derail an entire train so you can record it for YouTube and get views. That's already like the first thing you do, okay? And then you call the police right after the derailment happens. Okay, nothing too wrong with that. That's probably the right thing to do in that situation. But then like the cops get there and they start like trying to figure out, oh, what the fuck happened? What's going on? And then the kid who literally caused the train derailment goes up to the police willingly, tells them exactly what happens, and then starts like trying to reason with them about what could have happened. Which, by the way, all that did when he did that was give them actual reason to suspect him of the crime. Like that was the first thing. It's like if you arrive at a murder scene, right? And you're like, okay, well, we found the body, the victim is deceased. And then the guy who called in, right, is like, well, I swear to God, that knife in her heart might have caused it. I don't know how that got there, but the knife in her chest might have been what closed the deal. It's like you literally just opened yourself up for investigation. The train conductor later told investigators that the crash was caused by a misaligned switch, which was found to be missing a padlock that is usually attached to prevent unintended movement. Police said in an affidavit that the teen was able to describe to them where the switch was and how it worked, and that they discovered a camera tripod set up near the crash site just minutes before the accident, reported KOLN TV. So once again, like the police get there and they start trying to like piece this together. Fuck, a train derailed, okay? And by the way, this wasn't out in the middle of nowhere, okay? It wasn't like he fucking derailed a train in the middle of the farmlands of Nebraska, which even then would have caused its own unique problems and whatnot, right? This happened in like a populated area, in a fucking town or a community of some sort. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and show you a clip of the entire thing, right? And you're gonna see there's like buildings right next to this. There's grain silos and shit.
Oh my God, are they okay? Oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my freaking God. Oh my God, are they okay?
So he goes there and he like tells them exactly what happened, by the way. He's like, oh, it must have been a switch that was flipped the wrong way. And then they go and they look, they're like, yep, the switch was misaligned. The padlock has gone off of it. There's a fucking camera tripod pointing right at the derailment and the security footage or whatever of the whole thing. The kid told us exactly where the switch is and how it operates, right? So at this point, it's very, very obvious. This wasn't just some oopsie daisy, the train fucking fell off the rails. It wasn't anything like that. At this point, it becomes obvious, right? Like, oh, somebody derailed this train. And then they find out that it's a 17-year-old who told them everything and just wanted attention on the internet. So it's a weird level of self-snitching. I don't know if the kid thought that by like telling the police this shit that he would have been viewed as like, I don't want to say a hero or whatever, right? But I don't know. Maybe he thought like, oh, they'll go easier on me, or maybe they won't suspect me off the jump or whatever if I try to help the police and everything. Well, obviously that wasn't the case, because most normal people aren't just walking around like, yep, I know exactly how the rail lines work. I know where all the switches are. I sit there with my fucking camera pointed at the rail line all day to record derailments, like there was just way too much shit that all lined up for this kid to just walk away scot-free from this whole thing. Now, the teenager has now been charged with 2 felonies, one for criminal mischief and one for intentionally damaging or tampering with property. Now, if you ask me, I think that might be a little bit light, okay? I mean, like, I get the whole criminal mischief, intentionally damaging property thing, right? But this is a kid who literally derailed a train in a populated area carrying coal so he could get YouTube content, right? There should be some sort of different charge for this, right? There needs to be some sort of charge like tampering with the railway service or something. You would think, right, that there would be something a little more severe. Now, obviously, they're both felonies, so it's not like this is some fucking legit slap on the wrist. This is shit that will follow this kid for the rest of his life. But even then, it's like, realistically, we're honestly lucky that this wasn't a different train or like the train derailed the way that it did. Because, like I said, not only was the train conductor's life at risk throughout this whole thing and this derailment, but people who were in the adjacent buildings to the rail line were at risk. The vehicles that could have been near, like, you know, the railway interchange at the road or whatever, they could have been at risk. Like, people could have actually died in this situation. And not only that, not only could people have just outright been killed, the train could have been carrying like hazardous materials, chemicals, whatever. And by derailing this train, this kid could have legitimately released toxic or deadly or bad chemicals into the environment and killed people or fucking wildlife or whatever, right? You know, this kind of stuff has happened before. Trains I don't want to say all the time, but at least sometimes they do carry very hazardous materials and shit that they don't want trucks and stuff carrying on the highways where there's a higher risk of bad shit happening. That's the reason why this shit is carried on the rail lines. That way, there's less chance of like a big oopsie with it, right? But instead, they're rolling down the train here with some coal, and then Buddy is over here fucking derailing them for YouTube videos, right? Which I don't even understand that, because like I made YouTube content when I was that age. You know what I mean? I made YouTube videos at that age and had a channel. And never once would it have gone through my mind to be like, okay, let's head down to the railroad tracks and, you know, throw some bricks on the line or whatever and get this motherfucker rocking so we can get a nice video, right? Like that just never would have came to mind. That would have never have been a thought that went through my fucking brain, because I feel like it's just kind of common sense that you don't do shit like that, right? Like it doesn't matter how bad you want to be famous on YouTube or like how many views you want to get. It really doesn't matter, man. You can't go around derailing a fucking train. So this is honestly like one of the just most insane YouTube clout kind of stories I've ever seen, but honestly, that's why I wanted to talk about it. So with that being said though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, derailing trains in Nebraska, and signing out. And that's a wrap on this video, but big shout out to my Optimus Nation supporters. You guys are the real MVPs. For $10 a month, you get access to loads of exclusive videos and archived live streams, my members only Minecraft server where you can possibly appear in gameplay, early access to all new uploads, an invitation to the private Discord, and much more.